I thought I would make a short video just to share what's going on with me, my emotional state at the moment. I always have a really hard time with transitions, which I've talked about in a bunch of these videos. So if you've been following me, you already know that this is a thing for me, which I think it is for a lot of people. I think it has a lot to do, like, I feel choked up just starting to talk about it. And I think it's just because every time I go through a transition, it always feels like my emotions are heightened. I'm also tired of feeling sick, and it's like this is really taking a while to get out of my system. It's a very gloomy, rainy day today, and I could really use some sunshine, but I think it has to do for me with the fact that some of the transitions in my life have been so traumatic, and then now whenever I have to go through some type of a change, it feels kind of overwhelming. And I don't know if that's just me or, you know, I think a lot of people experience that. And imagine if you moved every year or every few years, and then when you were a kid you moved, but it was like always fraught with a lot of fear, a lot of instability, uncertainty, not always feeling safe. Those were really common experiences for me. I think now it's like there's this weird thing that I struggle with where I need a certain level of instability to feel satisfied. It's like if I'm in a situation that's the same for too long, I feel so restless. I don't want to feel afraid or scared or stressed out. The fears that I have surrounding trucking are really very present for me right now. I think being new is scary. I think one of the things that I'm really struggling with in a deep down way that I'm not even fully aware of on the surface how I feel about it. You know, when I was working at the other job and I was doing flatbed, I didn't have to worry about coupling and uncoupling the trailer. That's something that you really don't do very often when you drive a flatbed, and I love that. I didn't want to have to think about it. This last week especially, I guess throughout the duration of training, they showed us some really scary videos. They talked a lot about the dangers of not coupling properly, and they put a super strong emphasis on following the procedures exactly, step by step by step, every single step of coupling and uncoupling the way that you need to do it. And it's really emphatic in each step what you need to be looking at, how you need to look at it. You have to use a flashlight. At this point, you have to get under the trailer and look at your fifth wheel and make sure that your kingpin is locked into place, and like all of the different things that are required of proper coupling and uncoupling, which everyone should do, but they want you to do it the same exact way every time, which you should, because then you are not going to drop your trailer. I already know how I am. I don't have OCD. It's not like that, but I definitely have a level of, if I know that something like that is that serious and there's so much danger involved in it, I'm gonna couple that trailer. And this is already happening to me. When I'm finished coupling, I'll get back and get ready to drive, and in my brain I'm like, did you do it right? Did you do it right? Did you do it right? And it freaks me the fuck out. I have a lot of anxiety about it. I have started having anxiety nightmares, which is fairly typical for me, but it's been happening more since I started doing trucking, since I've been in training, and I think watching the videos that we're watching. And the dreams are not directly about trucking, but they are about trucking. Like last night, I had a really gnarly nightmare that I was looking up at a building, and it looked kind of like a 9/11 style thing where the building had smoke coming out of it and it was damaged. It was one of the iconic buildings in the Chicago skyline. And then a moment later, someone dropped a dresser off the roof and flattened someone on the sidewalk. And like I saw the whole thing in my nightmare, and it's like, that dresser was a trailer. You know, that's what I already know. It's like my brain is like conjuring up scenarios of doom. Thinking about causing problems gives me anxiety. I am just in a little bit of a mental zone. I wish I had someone I love to hug me or something like that. Because being isolated in a depressing, gloomy hotel room in Indiana by my damn self is kind of a bummer. Anyway, that's my anxiety morning. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Just another hotel room update midweek. Actually, it's late in the week. It's Thursday, and this is my week of working with my trainer over the road. I shouldn't even say over the road. It hasn't been like that, hence being in a hotel room. It's been kind of weird, but I want to say it's weird because like I'm not in a great mood right now, and it's just because it's wearing on me that I'm on this opposite schedule than what I was on for the other training. So the other training, I was getting up at 4 a.m. I had to be at the training yard at 6:30 in the morning. I am extremely fortunate to say that I'm with someone who is an awesome trainer. It's a younger woman. She's significantly younger than me. And one of the things that I've learned in my various job roles over the years is that you should never make any assumptions on people based on their demographics, especially age. I found that out it was actually at the delivery service. I worked with this guy who had just turned 21 when he started working there. You know, working with people who are that young, it's like, there's definitely like these sort of generational differences that make you feel a little old. In the parlance of his generation, I'm an old, like I am an old. That is a noun. But I just learned to love him so much, and he became such a positive influence on me because intelligence doesn't necessarily correspond with age, and wisdom too. And it's amazing how much wisdom can come from younger people sometimes. And sort of the counterpoint, I've encountered plenty of older people who totally lack the same amount of maturity and wisdom as a person who is a fraction of their age or half their age or whatever. I hit the actual jackpot with the person that I have training me, despite the fact that she has less experience and of course there's a lot to be said for experience, but she's awesome. She's super smart. She is a go-getter. She taught me things that I know that I would not have been taught by other people about how to set myself up for financial success at this job, and I have nothing but good things to say about her. One of the things that amazed me was how good she is at teaching backing, and how much dramatically better she is at teaching backing than people who have like 20 years of driving under their belts. But teaching is its own skill set. You can be good at backing yourself and not be able to teach it to someone else, and there are definitely a lot of examples of that in the trucking instruction realm, let's just say. I'm really grateful to be working with her. One of the things that's been a real struggle for me this week is that the company that I work for has such a high emphasis on safety, to a point that certain policies that they have, in my opinion, are just not real world. They're not going to be the way things end up working in the real world. I'm used to eating while I'm driving because we're on a run that is very high demand. It is delivering groceries for a very large grocery distributor. It is a very important, very time-sensitive job, of course, like many, if not all, trucking jobs. We're in logistics where we're dealing with supply chain issues as it is, and things need to get where they need to go on time, right? So there's not time to stop. There's barely time to stop and pee if you need to. There's really no time to take your time at a truck stop and pick out something to eat and then actually eat it if you don't eat while you drive. I've been in the habit of like eating healthy snacks throughout the day while I drive, like small amounts of food. Like I'll eat those little cuties, the little oranges or tangerines, whatever they are. I think they're little oranges. I'll eat those, and I'll like peel them before I start driving, so I don't have to, like I'll put them peeled in a cup, so there's just segments in a cup, and I will grab them from my cup holder and eat them while I drive. And that little bit of hydration, the sugar, the fiber, those are things that are helping me keep going while I'm driving. I think even just having something to break the boredom of staring at the road when you're driving in the dark. I know that, you know, my company wouldn't want to hear that because it's like, that's distracted driving, but it's like, you're human and you have to keep your brain going, and your brain is being drained by what you're doing. It has been very difficult for me to be experiencing the irony of being hungry all night, overnight, switching schedules. So I'm starting at like, at first I was starting at 3 p.m. Then as you definitely know, if you're a truck driver, that keeps getting pushed back because of any delays. I had a very stupid rookie mistake, which I hope I never make again. It was totally my fault. It was something I could have completely avoided if I had looked closer. I picked up the wrong trailer, and because we really do take the time to couple and uncouple correctly, of course, obviously, we take our time doing pre-trips, we do our braking tests and everything before we head out. That meant all of that shit had to be done twice because we had to go back and get the correct trailer, and thankfully the person at the guard shack caught that. And I was so mad at myself because I'm like, I'm holding up her too. Like, she is
of course she put herself in the position to be a trainer, so she knows there are consequences with that when you're dealing with a student who might make mistakes, who's slow, blah, blah. Someone watching this is probably like, well, she should have caught it. Maybe so. Yeah, that's fair. But I made the mistake. She was like, did you check the seal? Yeah. I didn't check it closely enough, or I would have seen that the number wasn't the same. I have a hard time remembering numbers. I'll have to look at the number multiple times and ideally look at it and look at what I'm comparing it to a few times to verify, just for the sake of my brain, to make sure that I saw that it was the right number. Well, I didn't do that this time, but I told her that I did, and off we went, and we had to turn right around, get another trailer. So we had that happen, and then in the same day, I misread the GPS and I missed an exit, and that cost us like 6 miles round trip out of the way. And then the way it's been is because of her clock running out, she will end up dropping me off after the first load, picking up a second load, and then she will be like, I'm gonna get stuck out, so I'm dropping you off, you go back to your hotel, sleep, and then we'll revisit tomorrow. Well, it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back, so our start time is later and later. So I'm trying to sleep until like 10 a.m. so that I can like be ready to work later. And then by the time it's time to go to work, it's felt like hurry up and wait. I'm hearing truckers watching this going like, you got into trucking, like what did you expect? Because that is what this is. That is the way trucking goes. You can't expect to have anything be easy. You can't expect any kind of scheduling consistency. You can't expect to be able to eat, drink, and go to the bathroom at times when it will be convenient for you to do so or helpful. You have to just do what you can do. But for me, part of my strategy to maintain energy while I drive involves snacks. That's really important for me. I'm not like some of these guys out there vaping my ass off all day long. No offense to anybody, but that's like how a lot of truckers fucking get by. Vaping, 5-hour energies, fucking bang drinks, all those. No, I'm not even trying. I'm not about that life. I'm not trying to get hooked on another addictive substance so I can get by. My addictive substances are cuties and like Cliff bars and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and coffee. And I definitely overdo the coffee a little bit, but I really am careful with it the longer I'm on my own, especially because I'm not trying to have to stop all the time and use the bathroom. Luckily, the runs that we go on aren't super long most of the time, and I know I'm going to end up at a store with a bathroom, so I can go to the bathroom at the store. It eliminates the need to stop at truck stops, which is great. But I'm trying to cram a lot of information into a short video because I don't know when I'm going to have time to edit video, and I want to keep you guys apprised of what's going on. But I'm really struggling with my feelings a lot. I'm trying not to get down. I didn't even mention the unmentionable that I don't even want to talk about that happened this week. That happens every week, that happens every day. Because what's the point? What's the point? Sorry, that went from real casual to serious all of a sudden, but it's a really heartbreaking week. Anyway, I didn't mean to get all like that, but you know, human. I'm sorry for everybody else out there who's feeling it too, you know. And what else can I say? My problems are minor. But I'm getting through it. I have a great lady to lead the way. Strong women fucking kick ass. And if you're a person who wishes you lived in a more peaceful world, I'm right there with you, bud. Hello from my home in Chicago. I am taking a walk from my apartment, my new apartment. I am so happy there already. My roommates are so cool, such laid back, chill, awesome people. A bunch of stuff that I want to share, but I know walking videos are probably not the best to watch, so I don't want to like make you watch it necessarily. Although, isn't it nice to kind of see my kick-ass neighborhood on this absolutely stunningly gorgeous Chicago day? Wow, what a beautiful day. Needed this. I'm about to walk back past the coolest looking person right now. I just got to tell you. She had the coolest style and red hair. Anyway, can you tell how happy I am? So happy. I should stop walking for a second just so I can talk to you guys. So, training was interesting and learned a lot, and I'm excited to be done with it and on my own. I did my first shift on my own day before yesterday, and it went really well. Not perfect. We had a couple of, rookie moments, but made it through unscathed.
and I'm super stoked that I am driving a really nice new truck. It was rebuilt. It's a 2021, and it was rebuilt after having been in an accident. So it has some minor issues related to that, but it's like a new truck, and I feel super fortunate. 2021 Cascadia. What a beaut. I love it here, dude. I'm so happy. But the good news that I'm excited about is I had originally decided I was going to work nights on this job because the pay is dramatically higher if you work nights. And I started doing it because my trainer works nights, so I was on her schedule. And I'm glad I had the experience of doing it with her, because I was like, this is messing me up. It screws with my moods, my emotional state. Like, I get all out of whack. And I was like, you know what? Maybe not. Like, no money is worth your mental health. No money is worth your physical health, your well-being. And that's one of those things that I've had a history of trying to force myself, the sort of square peg in the round hole idea. This was one of those moments. And what's funny is I had a couple good nights of sleep. And after that, I woke up this morning and I was just like, I'm going to go on days. Fuck it. I don't need that money. I do. But, you know, I need my health more than any money, because my health is the money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really happy I made that decision. It was totally the right decision. Starting up on days as of Saturday, I guess. And there's more to tell, but I'm going to walk to the beach now and take a dip. Not in my shirt. I have a bikini on under this, but anyway. To do my breathing exercises and just take a little swim, and man, I couldn't be happier today, I'll tell you right now. Good morning from sunny Chicago. I'm about to head out on my first paddleboard session of the year. This is a paddleboard surf hybrid board, so it can be used for either, because if you can see, I don't know if you're familiar with paddleboards at all, but this is narrower than your typical recreational paddleboard. So that makes it less stable, which I like because it's more of a workout. I kind of wish it wasn't as windy as it is today, because I don't feel like working that hard. And I hope this image is clear enough. My phone is in a waterproof case that I've neglected to clean first before putting my phone in it. So anyway, off we go. This is one of the main reasons to live in Chicago near the lake, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm laughing to myself thinking, did I actually think I was going to work nights and give up Chicago summer? Like, what planet am I on right now? That's not me. I don't know who was thinking that thought, but it sure wasn't me. Anyway, off we go.
gonna take a minute to video. This is my beekeeper sun protection SPF 50 hat. This thing is awesome. Maybe I'll throw a link in the comments. I just want to take a minute to film because I'm getting blown out farther from shore, which is fine. I can get back in, don't worry. I also, in case anyone's wondering, I'm wearing a PFD or personal flotation device. I don't play. This is Lake Michigan. It's not a joke. Lifeguard yelled at me. It's super stupid because I'm not me stupid. The rule is stupid, not the lifeguard. She's just doing her job. But the beach that's closest to me that I always go to, I always forget this. You're not supposed to launch a paddleboard from there. I don't know why that's the rule. They want you to carry the paddleboard about a quarter mile down the beach and get in the water there. And it's literally no different. So I was like, I'm sorry, that rule doesn't make sense. I know you're doing your job, but I'm gonna get in here. And so she starts getting on her radio and calling for backup. So I had to skedaddle into the water, which kind of sucks because, I don't know if you can see it, but my leash is in the water instead of on my ankle where I'd rather it be. I don't want to say it because it's like famous last words, but I typically do not fall in. If I go in the water, it's because I want to go in. It's really cold today. It feels awesome, especially the farther out from shore. It's probably in the 50s. Getting blown out here pretty good, so it's time to put the camera down and start paddling. I just wish it wasn't so windy. It's like more work than I really want to do right now, and my neck is being a complete jerk, and so is my back, and just like that. Driving a truck has been already pretty hard on my body, and I'm barely scratching the surface, so we'll see if I last. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. I'm back on shore. Look at this gorgeous water. Just bumps in the sand. And I don't know if I'll be able to use this video because it's so windy, but I just wanted to show you how cool this hat is. If you do any outdoor activities, if you're into gardening, if you're into, paddleboarding or kayaking, if you're a fisherman or fisherwoman or anything like that, this hat is awesome. I will put a link in the description. So it has snaps all around it. It's not flattering, but that's not the point. It stays on in the wind. It's got this little cord on it. It covers your whole face. It's SPF 50 fabric, and it's surprisingly cool and breathable. Like, it's got this little mesh panel over the face. I was surprised by how much cooler I feel when I'm wearing a full hat. And then I wear a rash guard because, you know what, my tattoos were very expensive and they're very beautiful, and I don't want to destroy them with sun. I normally actually cover my hands too with I buy like black hair colorist gloves. If you don't think it's important to cover your face, if you're not just vain like me and trying to prevent like sun damage and wrinkles, the sun reflects off the water even if it's cloudy, and it will damage your skin. But if that's not enough to make you think you need to protect your skin from the sun, look up what happens when people get skin cancer in their face. It can completely destroy your face, like getting giant holes cut out of your face. I don't want that, and I spend a lot of time out in the water in the summer, so that's why I wear this hat. That's my PSA. There's always got to be one. Hey, just an end of week recap. I'm sitting here actually editing the video that you just watched, and I was like, I didn't film any kind of an ending for this video, so this is the end. So I'm in my truck. I'm in my comfy truck in my sleeper. I'm really enjoying this truck. I'm really feeling fortunate for it. I had a good day today. It was a pretty simple day. I spent the beginning of it being shuttled from Gary, where I'm now going to be based, instead of way the hell west in Illinois. That was a huge commute for my off time. And I just want to acknowledge that, when I got into trucking, and I talked about going into trucking on YouTube, I had talked a lot about wanting to just be out on the road, get rid of my apartment and my car, and use the money to pay off debt and all that stuff. And I still would love to do that. I don't know if it's going to be realistic for me to do it in the future, but it's not right now. And that's one of the things that I had to sort of acknowledge for myself, and sort of, I guess, I don't know if swallow my pride is the right way to look at it, but I think I want to just put this out there for anyone else who is new in trucking or thinking about going into it, and who is trying to figure out what they want to do exactly, because there's so many different types of trucking jobs. There's regional, and there's local, and there's over the road, and all kinds of variations. You have to sort of feel it out and see what you like and what you want to do. And sometimes I think when you have an idea of what you want, you might start to actually get out there and start doing it and realize that it's not what you wanted, or that you're not ready for it. And I think that it takes a level of maturity to be able to say to yourself, this isn't the right thing for me right now, and that's okay, and to not be hard on yourself about it. Because my ego wants to be like, you know, whatever, insert whatever negative name I could call myself. Okay, I'm thinking, you weak ass bitch. You weak ass bitch. You're supposed to go out on the road and be like this
hardened, tough trucker babe or whatever the hell, you know, and you were going to get out of debt and save all this money. And it's a great idea, you know, but I decided that I just wasn't ready to do that. And as it is, I've put myself way out of my comfort zone by living in a truck even part of the time. So it's like, okay, maybe I'll want to go over the road after this once I have had some experience doing this and I feel a little more comfortable with the experience of living in a truck once I've sort of gotten it down. The other thing that I want to share for new truckers is that one of the things that's happened for me, and I wonder if other people have had this experience and might share about it in the comments, is when you start trucking, it can actually cost you money. And that's what's been the case for me. My financial situation now is a lot crappier than it was before I started. And I guess it has a little bit to do with having switched jobs, although the thing is, income-wise, I was not doing better at the other job at all. Because I was working at 1099, and I'm actually going to be screwed already when taxes come around because I had set aside tax money and then ended up needing to use it, you know. There are expenses associated with starting a new job, and it's not just paying for a CDL, because I actually got a government grant to get my CDL, which was so fortunate for me, and I'm so glad I got that. I got the WIOA grant. Definitely look into that if you can't afford CDL school and you want to get a CDL. It paid for all of it, and that really was a boon for me. But there are other things like having to buy clothing, having to buy items you need for the truck, having to buy food for the truck that is different than what you might buy for home, and small appliances maybe, and like depending on what kind of truck you end up having. And like I need to buy a tire thumper for my truck still, which I don't have one, and that's really important, and gloves and other types of gear, all weather gear. There's just like little things that I need. I need a new flashlight. I have a flashlight, but it's not a good enough flashlight. You need a good flashlight. Like, you know, I'm just scratching the surface because, man, I wish I could share this list. I need to find it, but someone in a comment on my video, some generous soul, spent a lot of time typing out a huge list of stuff that you should get for your truck, and it was kind of overwhelming to read it, but it was very thorough. It was like an exhaustive list. If you really want to be out doing it on the road, you need a lot of shit. If you're in a position like I have been, where you don't really have very much money and you're just trying to, like, you know, get yourself on better financial footing, then maybe start with something less ambitious than going full on over the road, because there's a lot of cost in getting started and doing that. At least that's been my experience. And I'm not even over the road. I'm doing a regional job. So I'm working for 5 days. I have the option to work a 6th day for a bonus, but I have a feeling I'm going to end up just working 5 because I really care about my downtime. And while I really need to make money, and there's that ego part of me being like, just push through and do it, I already know how I am. And it's like, I'm middle-aged, you know. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I value time in a way that it's different than money. Like, there's no replacing time. You never get it back. And like being able to spend some time with my friends on those 2 days off, being able to go hang out at the lake and do things for my mental and physical health, those things to me are priceless. You can't put a number on that stuff. So would I love to have the wherewithal or the desire to work 6 days and work 14 hours a day and all that? Yeah, I kind of do, but nah, because in the grand scheme of the way I look at life, I don't want that for myself. And if other people want it and it works for them, totally cool. You know, like, you got to do what's good for you as an individual. You have to do your best to detach from other people's goals. Don't let those define what you want for yourself. Do what's good for you, and really just be honest with yourself. Have that sort of heart to heart with yourself and be like, or heart with yourself, because you only got one, right? That was so dumb, sorry. Just have a conversation, an honest conversation with yourself, maybe even in a journal format, whatever it takes, to really think it through and make sure that you're doing what's best for you. So that's all I got to say. As always, being wordy, being verbose, it's my thing. It's kind of what I do. But thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.